Track her down if we can.
Here.
I can hear her. But I can hear. Started and recognize Councilor Kennedy for a prayer and for leading the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'd just like to take the silence as we enter the holiday season, that everybody in the Commonwealth has a safe and happy holiday season. It's a lot of times things go south during that time, and I hope everybody is safe.
Amen.
We pledge allegiance to the flag
United States.
to the republic, which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to recognize Councilor Duff for a motion to record advice and consent for the financial warrant.
So move, Governor.
Second. Motion made by Councilor Duff, seconded by Councilor Ianella. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I'd like to recognize Councilor DiPaolo for a motion to record advice and consent for the pending list of notaries public and justices of the peace. Moved. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Ianella. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. I'd like to recognize Councilor Ferreira for a motion to record advice and consent for the appointment of Audrey C. Murillo to the position of Associate Justice of the Juvenile Court.
With great pleasure that I make that motion, Governor.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Kennedy. Your discussion, Councilor Devaney.
I have to stand, this is, we don't see this all the time. Here's someone that came from very poor background, very difficult, childhood. And there's no one more understanding of people in need as she is. And especially when she was a young child to be in that position. But I really think that she identifies with the people that come to see her, and they will identify with her. And that's what we need, someone in the court to represent them. So I'm very proud to vote yes.
Terrific. Well said. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I'd ask for the roll to be called.
Councilor Duff,
Yes.
Councilor Kennedy,
With pleasure, yes.
Yes.
Councilor Davis.
Yes.
Councilor Ferraro,
Yes.
Councilor Devaney,
Yes.
Councilor Ianella.
Yes.
7 members voting, 7 in the affirmative. The matter carries. All right. I'd now like to recognize Councilor Devaney for a motion
Lieutenant Governor,
to record advice and consent for the appointment of Michael J. Pineault to the position of Associate Justice of the Superior Court.
I'm very honored to make the nomination, to vote for this nominee.
Let me get a second before you.
Motion?
Is there, motion's been made by Councilor Devaney, seconded by Councilor Ianella.
Thank you.
Under discussion, Councilor
Thank
Devaney.
He has the age, he has the experience to bring, 34 years that he's been a lawyer. And not only has he had real criminal cases that are horrendous, but in my experience in 25 years, we don't see someone that has had so many cases in white collar crime. We need that. And I think he'll be a great addition to the Superior Court. And also compassion. I always look for compassion. And he has represented people who couldn't afford, many people who couldn't afford a lawyer. And I always look for the compassion. So he has everything, experience, qualifications, and the compassion. So I'm proud to make the motion.
That's great. Motion's been made and seconded. Any other further comments or questions?
I do.
Please. Councilor Jacobson.
Thank you. I just wanted to comment that I agree. He's a very intelligent man. He's a very qualified man. He has definitely the demeanor one looks for in a judge, and I validate all of those things. I have a concern about him from the standpoint of his self-awareness around bias and his sort of having a blind spot to racial, gender, and other forms of implicit bias, and didn't really hear from him a strong sense that he was going to work on it in a way that I felt would impact that. And the bias in our justice system is one that concerns me greatly and drove me to want to be a part of this council. And for that reason, I'm voting no today.
Thank you, Counselor Jacobs. Any other comments or questions? Okay, could I ask the secretary to please call the roll?
Kennedy?
Yes.
Council Jacobs? No.
Yes.
Council DeVianney?
Yes.
Yes.
Council Duff?
Yes.
7 members voting, 6 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The matter carries. I'd now like to recognize Counselor Kennedy for a motion to record advice and consent to pardon Robert Miller.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Counselor DiPaolo.
Second.
Second. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I'd ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Council DePaolo?
Yes.
Council Jacobs?
Yes.
Council Ferrara?
Yes.
Council DeVianney?
Yes.
Council Ayala?
Yes.
Council Duff?
Yes.
Council Kennedy?
Yes.
7 members voting, 7 in the affirmative, the matter carries. Now I'd like to recognize Counselor DiPaolo for a motion to record advice and consent to pardon Eric Nada.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Jacobs. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, if you could please call the roll.
Council Jacobs?
Yes.
Council Ferrara?
Yes.
Council DeVianney?
Yes.
Council Ayala?
Yes.
Council Duff?
Yes.
Council Kennedy?
Yes.
Council DePaolo?
Yes.
7 members voting, 7 in the affirmative, the matter carries. That's our last order of business. And I know Counselor Jacobs, you mentioned that you wanted to raise a issue.
I just wanted to follow up on, I think it was a month and a half ago around, we, as a council, formed a rules committee and agreed that we would bring a draft of rules to the council on the first assembly in November. And so a draft of the rules have been shared to the council today. And so the proposal that I'm making is that we give the council a week to evaluate those rules and give whatever input or suggestions they may have, comments they may have, and bring it to a vote at our next assembly.
Any other comments or questions? We don't need a formal motion. We can just build some consensus on it. Counselor DeVianney?
Question through you to the counselor. Will we be able to meet and discuss it before we have the vote, just like we do at the hearing, and then we vote the next week? Can we talk about it and hear?
Want to schedule a discussion hearing around rules in between when we have other hearings and assemblies? I support that idea. Officially, like, put it on the calendar that we'll have.
Set a date.
Yeah,
An executive session.
an executive session. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, before we just motion to adjourn, by Counselor DiPaolo, seconded by Counselor Iannella. All those in favor, all those opposed? We stand.